pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Donnie, would you lead us in prayer, please?
Dear Heavenly Father, Lord, we thank you, Lord, for another day you gave us, Lord. We ask, Lord, that you just be with us, Lord, in our decisions here, Lord. And we ask, Lord, that you just be with all the storm victims that we've had, and all of them in the tornadoes and all the devastations that we've had. We ask this in your precious name, and amen.
Amen. Vicki, roll call, please.
Eric Belfry.
Here.
Johnny Keaton.
Here.
Tommy Fannin.
Here.
Brandon Evans.
Here.
Leroy Pitt. Jim Gazay.
Here. All right, first up, minutes. Go ahead and preview, and I'll entertain a motion when you're ready.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes of the last meeting.
I'll say.
We have a motion on the floor. It's been properly seconded to approve the minutes of the last meeting. Discussion or amendments? All in favor? Opposed? Motion carries. Treasurer's report, you're on deck. You're up, Sheila.
Okay, we'll start out with 5A, the financial statement. We have 3 attachments there for you all. The first one is the financial statement with the reconciled bank and book balance as of 4/30/25. I have also included a revenue condition report and an appropriation condition report that shows in detail that summarized financial statement. And if you have any questions, you can just let me know, but we will just need approval of the financial statement.
Make a motion to approve the financial statement as presented.
We have a motion on the floor. It's been properly seconded to approve the financial statement as presented. Questions, discussion? There being none, all in favor? Opposed? Motion carries.
Okay, moving along to 5B, which is changes to the budgeted chart of accounts. We had one account that we are requesting to be added to the budget. I've got an attachment for you all to view there. This is account number 75440, which is our special projects account. This is for ABC licenses. It's a revenue line item. It's new, and it'll be for the county ABC licenses. We would just like to approval to add that particular account to the budgeted chart of accounts for the revenue from the licenses.
I'll make a motion that we approve the changes to the budgeted chart of accounts as presented.
Second.
Motion on the floor properly is second to approve the changes up to the budget chart of accounts as presented. Questions, discussion? Being none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Okay, moving along to 5C, which is budget amendments. We have the second reading will be tonight for budget amendment number 10. I have the attachment for you all to view there. We had presented this to DLG. It was approved by the state local finance officer. This was the coal severance projects across the two funds, general fund and road fund, for $392,623. We'll just need approval to adopt budget amendment number 10. And if you have any questions, you can let me know.
I'll make a motion to approve budget amendment number 10 as presented.
I'll second.
We have a motion on the floor. It's been properly second to approve or to adopt budget amendment number 10 as presented. Questions, discussion? There being none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Okay, next is 5D, budget transfers. This is budget transfers number 11 in the amount of $47,255.79. I have an attachment for you all to view. We have three different funds that will need funding transferred into those line items. From the general fund, reserved for transfers will be $7,655.79 to the listed account codes. The road fund will need $16,600 into those two line items, and the jail fund will need from the reserve for transfers $23,000 into that one line item for contracts with other counties, which is our jail bill. That totals $47,255.79 in budget transfers. And if you all have any questions on any of those, just let me know.
I'll make a motion to approve the budget transfer number 11 as presented.
I'll second it.
We have a motion on the floor. It's probably second to approve budget amendment number 11 as presented. Questions, discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Okay, 5E is interfund cash transfer. This is an interfund cash transfer from the general fund to the jail fund of $50,000. I have included an attachment for you all to view there as well, showing that that will be transferred into the jail fund to support operations of that fund. We'll just need approval to do that interfund cash transfer.
I'll make a motion to approve the interfund cash transfer of $50,000 from the general fund to the jail fund.
Second.
Motion on the floor for the approval of the interfund cash transfer of $50,000 from the general fund to the jail fund as presented. Questions, discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Okay, last thing up is 5F, which is Treasurer's Periodic Checklist. This is just informational to the court. This is a checklist of important tasks to be completed periodically. We present this every month to let you all know that these tasks are being completed and done timely and double checked by the finance officer. As you can see, this was the end, a monthly, an end of the quarter, and also a yearly checklist, and all those things were completed and done. If you have any questions on all of that, you can just let me know. But that is all I have tonight for the treasurer's report. Thank you all.
All right, go ahead and carry on with the fiscal year 26 budget.
Number 6 is the fiscal year 26 budget. This will be the presentation and first reading of fiscal year 26 budget to the Morgan County Fiscal Court. I have an attachment for you all to view there. It is a lot of pages. I think it's maybe 35 pages long. It's kind of repetitive, but it breaks it down for you all in between funds and percentages and revenue and appropriations for each individual fund and separated into each individual line item. But the first one, if you go pages 1 through 12, tells in detail for the general fund revenues, which will be $4,827,551.46. You'll go on down to page, keep going on down to page 6, I think it is, 7. No, page 6. As you notice, the total appropriations are the same for revenue, so our budget did balance. We also have the road fund, which is total revenues $2,733,614.54. If you go on down to the bottom of page 8, that also balances in the road fund. The jail fund, which the court had previously been presented a first reading of that, be $725,285. Of course, that balances at the bottom or at the top of page 10. We also have our LGEA, 2,000. We also have the Forest Fire Protection Fund, our timberland tax, with 5,000. The special projects funds, which are a lot of our grants and licenses, and we have different ASAP funds. The ABC licenses will be in there. Our spade neuter grant, our ag grant will all be in there, totaling $227,157. Of course, that balances on to the bottom of page 11. We have our clerk doc fees account, $18,000. We'll also have our Morgan County Fiscal Court Public Properties Fund, $365, $445.96, and that also balances. The next page is the standing order list. All these line items will be able to be paid out on standing order, but then also brought to the court the following meeting for ratification and approval. We'll submit all of this into DLG, and then after you go off of the standing order list, it's kind of repetitive as far as breaking down the revenues and appropriations on the next pages. But if you all have any questions, just let me know about this. We will be submitting this tomorrow after the presentation and first reading to DLG. There's a lot of documentation that we send in that they require. We'll submit all of that, and they'll let us know pending their approval. And between now and June the 26th, I think, is our next meeting. If you have any questions, you can stop by and make changes, or we can go over it. Just call and let me know, and we'll meet and talk about it. Or if you have any questions or want to make any changes or want to see the breakdown on the appropriation reports or the revenue reports. And I've got a whole folder of stuff that I use to create the budget, along with Vicki, and I worked on it together. But if you have any questions, just let me know. We also, at the bottom, if you want to go all the way to the end, I have attached our bond payment list. That just tells in detail the principal and interest payments that we have for each bond. We also are required to attach the tax rates to send into DLG. But that's everything I have on the budget. And if you all have any questions on that, you can just let me know. But please just call me and let me know if you have any changes or questions about that.
Okay, moving along, judges report. Kind of short tonight. First, a health update. I saw my doctors today. My surgery is going to be set for June 6th that morning. They're going to go in and take out a piece of my colon and probably keep me in the hospital. He said usually a week. He said with my health, I'll probably be out in a couple of days. Then after that, I go back on 3 months of chemo. But additionally, I got to go back. Well, I got to have another surgeon go in. The liver surgeons go in. They found there was some small tumors on my liver. The big one is gone. It's disappeared. I don't know where it went. But the two other medium-sized ones, they're going to microwave them, stick a probe inside my belly and microwave them and kill them, and it'll be done. And they said they expect me. They said they can't say I'll be in remission at that time, but they can say I'll be cancer-free. That's the outlook. So everything's looking pretty good on that. Other thing, roads. Say it again, please. Oh.
And thank the Lord.
Oh yes, indeed. That's all glory to God on that. I surrendered that deal to Him. I don't worry about it. That's in His hands. We finished the roads that didn't get finished last year, so we finally got them finished. So Blacken House, Gillum Branch, Joe Jenkins, Lacey Creek, Fields Branch, and Robinson Branch are all done now. That was leftovers from last year, so they'll be getting started on the next round here pretty soon. There's a FEMA project completed on Jones Creek. The cruise-ins at the Wellness Center are starting again. It's the second Friday of every month. They get up there, about 5 o'clock, Tommy? 6?
Something like that.
5, 6. They've gone. Last week I was out there, and they had 73 cars from all the surrounding counties and stuff. So I think that was the largest we had yet. And we had the veterans stand down this past Saturday. That was a good turnout. We had a lot of gifts and stuff for our veterans, and they got free haircuts, and that went well. We're going to make that an annual thing from now on. Try to get more of the VA canceled on us, but they said they can make it the next time. So we'll have the VA out there and hearing and all kinds of other services for the vets. And that's all I got in the judge's report. Mr. Curd couldn't be here, so we'll table that. We'll table him and move along to number 9.
Okay, this is the review of the WEX and Elon billing statements. We present these each month to the court. These are just to ratify. The Elon credit card statement is the first attachment Vicki has put on there. This is just our Elon credit card bill that shows in detail down on page 2 those purchases that we made with the credit card. Also, the next attachment is the fuel log. She has those broke down by each individual office and each employee and the price and how many gallons of fuel is being used. That's on our WEX card. The next one is the Sheriff's Office fuel and mileage log for the month of April. And we also have included at the bottom the WEX invoice statement, which is our fuel cards. And it shows in detail also by employee and dates and per gallon and pricing. So we will just need to ratify those expenditures for the WEX and Elon services. It's sideways.
Mm-hmm.
It won't go no other way. We tried.
Too big.
Yeah. Yes. We know they're going over the WEX when they turn their heads sideways.
Make a motion to ratify the prior period expenditures for WEX and Elon Financial Services.
I'll second it.
We have a motion on the floor. It's been properly seconded to ratify prior period expenditures for WEX and Elon Financial Services. Questions, discussions? There being none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next up is employee actions. Come on, there it is. Okay, Randall Patrick was moved into a supervisory position at the transfer station as of July 2024. He was to receive a raise after 6 months in his new position. Randall's performed the job well and exemplary, and 6 months have passed as of February 1st, 2025. Ashton Obert was hired as a part-time employee with the Wellness Center at $10 per hour. Recommend for Randall's raise and his salary to increase by 50 cents per hour. We'll need to get a motion on that. And Ashton. I thought we lost that.
I'll make a motion to approve the increase of Randall Patrick's salary by 50 cents per hour, retroactive to February 1st, 2025, and the hiring of Ashton Obert, part-time at the Wellness Center at $10 per hour.
We have a motion on the floor. It's been properly second. Approval to increase Randall Patrick's salary by 50 cents per hour retroactive to February 1st, 2025, and employ Ashton Obert part-time at the Wellness Center at $10 per hour. Questions, discussion? There being none, all in favor? Opposed? Motion carries. Coal Severance Project Ditcher. Rationale behind this, the price on the ditcher approved at the last meeting has increased by $5,696. Imagine that.
What caused it to go up?
Yeah, well, there's, what did cause it to go up?
He said he was quoted one price and
And
then,
they quoted him another one, and then
what was it, Linda? He was quoted the price.
He was quoted the price, and then he kept trying to call that person, and they wouldn't.
they wouldn't take it, so we had to go to somebody else. And the other guy did say the prices had all went up on those. He said he had to raise his too. So, it takes 6 weeks to go through this process, and it's amazing what can happen in 6 weeks. $5,696. God,
So we're going to purchase this off of someone else then?
yeah. Same exact machine, everything, same warranty, same everything. It's just now it's costing us $5,696. If we wait another few months, it'll probably triple another $5,000 where this is going.
If you choose to buy this particular one, it is right below the procurement.
Yeah, that's right.
It's $39,000. How much, Vicki?
$296.
Yeah, $39,296. So it's right below. You
Sure,
don't have
below.
to bid out.
Where's it located at?
Somewhere in Ohio.
Yeah,
Little
is it
Farm
Ohio, Shannon?
Supply?
Where's that ditcher located at?
In Ohio.
Ohio? All right.
Okay, yeah, we've got an attachment for y'all to view there.
There's an attachment there.
Oh, okay.
It's
I
just-
forgot we attached that. Okay. Yeah, $39,296. 2 weeks guarantee, I guess, delivery time. Rick Little, 26-inch cut. Is that a Hurricane ditcher with a sidearm, with a baby sidearm? Little's Farm Supply, Lynchburg, Ohio. I guess that's part of the coal severance project.
Yeah.
We'll still be eligible to get what we had previously requested for that ditcher, but the additional $5,696 will have to come out of the reserve or one of the appropriate line items to make up the balance of the ditcher. That's pretty much why we wanted to ask the court if we could go ahead and use the coal severance money, which will, of course, come out of the reserve and then pay back into the reserve for the purchase of the equipment. Once we buy it and send in a canceled check and an invoice, we'll just need to take the $56.96 out of the reserve if we want to make that purchase.
Is there any fluff left in all of those other purchases? No, because we took all the fluff out.
No, there wasn't any that would be able to be used for the road fund. It would need to come out of the reserve or one of the line items that would be appropriate for that purchasing.
Is this the same exact one that we quoted before?
Yeah.
I think that's what he said.
Anthony told me it's the exact same.
I'm pretty
one.
sure. But I think he said he had tried to call numerous times to get a hold of the other place that had quoted him the,
Good enough where he tried to call me, never could get through.
yeah. So this was the next.
Was that like was it like an estimate that's
Yeah.
supposed to last so long?
I don't think he got, I think he just got like a quote on it, a verbal quote.
Oh.
He didn't have any,
Well, I didn't see.
he didn't have a printed out price, did he? I think it was a verbal quote, wasn't it?
And who was it we had a quote
an
with?
estimated quote.
An estimated quote. Who was it? Do we know? I don't know who it
It
was
seemed
to.
like it was from Illinois.
Illinois.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Probably shouldn't do business with those people again.
Yeah, he had tried to call and he said that he couldn't get them. And then he checked all around and I think this was the next best price, right? But we will be getting the coal severance economic development money in the amount, $33,600, which was part of that amendment. And the additional $56.96 was not included in that project.
I think he just gave him that quote. I don't think he knew what he was doing.
Well, 5696 could be tariffs also.
But I was wondering about that myself.
I've seen a lot of it.
And I think Anthony said the guy that where you got this quote from didn't mention tariffs.
While we're on the
But that's
subject.
still, man, that's a lot for tariffs.
While we're on the subject of tariffs, I got a call from Scott with Worldwide Equipment, and he wanted me to notify the court that they have completely taken off the tariff that we were going to be charged, the $3,000, and they were only going to charge us the $1,500. So we'll no longer have to pay the $1,500. So
For the dump truck.
for the dump truck, yeah. So that will be, and we'll still. I think it's scheduled to go up to Sayersville, Logan's maybe next month. And June or end of June, 1st of July, I'm pretty sure that's what he said, to start getting the bed put on. So
Probably
we,
setting up our, in the loft, they got about
Yeah.
7,500 trucks sitting there.
yeah, there's a bunch, but that will be a $1,500.
Already there.
Yeah, that'll be $1,500 that we would have saved on that. So there won't be any tariff on that.
Do you have anybody in mind that's gonna be doing the ditching? They need to be watching real close. I mean, that would be bad to rip that thing for that kind of money.
Yeah.
Cause there's everything in the world in ditches to keep. Like water meter
You
or
have
something.
to have somebody up front looking at it,
Yeah,
walking it.
I mean, it's still the best you can do. I mean, accidents happen, but I mean.
I think,
But this will be better than
didn't they
backhoe.
talk about that one Massey tractor taking the side boom off it? It was a good tractor, just a mowing and everything was wore out on it.
Yeah.
And stripping it down and using it for the ditcher.
And we got ditching season coming up, and we're already behind schedule. And, I mean, we're very behind right now. And that's the other 2 weeks on this. I mean, we could wait and see if the tariffs will go back down, but then summer will probably be over.
Hang on 1 second on that. You got your phone with you? Work phone? I sent you something there. See if it's the same one.
It's the same brand. I don't know if it's the same size, and I don't see no size on it.
It's a 26.
Yeah, this one says with 26-inch cut with the baby sidearm.
The 13-inch ditch, I believe this one got a quote
How much is that?
12,000.
12,000.
12,000.
10-inch depth of cut on single pass, up to 26-inch on multiple passes.
Where is it located?
Yeah, fair, that's the
Iowa.
difference. Well, you can pay shipping.
That's a big difference.
Yes. It might pay a little bit.
Did you see the other one, Tom?
Not
Yeah.
one that's bidding on.
I don't know what that baby sidearm means. Do you?
It's to reach over a little bit further.
Yeah.
On the side.
They use some flips over and
It's kind of offset.
gives them a little bit extra reach.
Because that goes. And that's just straight behind.
Same brand though, I mean.
Yeah.
I think we'll look around.
You
If
think
there's that
we-
much difference between them.
You wanna just table it and go and look
Yeah.
and take a second look at this and make sure those are the same two and then if it's, we can do a special call meeting to come back in and get it. And make sure.
Yeah, that's that kind of money.
I think it's worth it.
That kind of money is
I
worth.
think it's that kind of money it's worth checking.
Yeah.
Cause that's a big difference. All them other ones are, all the other ones that Anthony looked up were in the 30s. Now this guy's 12,000.
Yeah, I mean, I have no idea what the,
But we can
Difference
look,
is-
we can look at it and see what the
Call
difference
them
is.
and ask them, give us the specs on that other one and see if it's the same.
Shannon, you guys get on that first thing in the morning and see what the difference is in those two, compare them. Yeah, see what they are. And let us know, let me know, and I'll let the magistrates know. And if we have to do a special call, meeting real fast, it's coming and prove it's gonna do it. But it's worth the money to do that.
It's probably a scam.
now hang on.
Yo,
I found a baby sidearm. Yeah.
it's gonna come from China.
That may be the expense.
Oh yeah, it's totally different.
That price is $38,700.
Yeah, the baby sidearm is that's the money, yeah, right there.
It gives it offset to.
Yeah, it has a whole
It sound
box
like
and
a lot.
everything.
It's just a baby.
Yeah, the one on Tractor House, same place that one was,
Yeah, it's
38,796. So this was just a few dollars more.
And that there, especially when you have it 2 weeks.
So we're back on?
Yeah, so the baby sidearm is where
That's
where
where
the
the money
money
Where
is.
it's at.
Yeah, that's the money.
Yeah, the other didn't
The
have that.
ditcher's not the money.
No. The arm is.
Yep.
And that's
You
what
can
we need.
imagine, put that on one of them other, like the bush hog one.
They put the money on the exact same we.
Because all
They
it
know
is,
how to price these things.
Put them on that arm, that bush hog one.
Use the arm, it's on the
Cause
bush
I-
tractor.
They hooks on that.
Hey,
Take the bush hog off,
Hey, Tommy, you hear
Huh?
that? You hear that question?
What's that?
and she just put it on the arm on the old tractor. Just take the bush hog head off.
Well, I'm wondering if it would work.
It's possible. Yeah, I don't know how.
You have a lot more reach.
Yeah. I don't know how the boom and all that stuff is on that old mess yet there. They said the tractor part was good. Talked like the rest of it was junk. I don't know if it's just the mower or the whole arm or what.
Yeah, it's in bad shape.
The arm and stuff.
It's
Is that the one that drops all the time?
Yeah.
Okay.
Then that wouldn't be,
Yeah.
gonna be able to do it.
No.
That's right.
It's a good thought.
That was a good thought. So we're back to square one.
Yep.
All right.
I'll make a motion to approve the purchase of the ditcher.
I'll say.
$39,296 from Little's Farm Supply.
All right, we have a motion on the floor, it's been properly second to approve the purchase of the ditcher. Questions, discussion? All in favor? Opposed? Motion carried. Tried to save some money.
Yep.
All right, Sheila, incentive training?
Morgan County Clerk Randy Williams has completed his 2025 required 40 hours of training and is eligible for his training incentive. I have attached his letter there for you all to view. We'll just need approval to pay Randy Williams his training incentive payment.
I'll make a motion to approve Randy Williams' 2025 training incentive payment.
I'll second it.
Motion on the floor, properly second to approve Morgan County Clerk Randy Williams' 2025 training incentive payment. Questions, discussion? There being none, all in favor? Opposed? Motion carries. Whoa. I thought my screen just went away. Okay, approval to use the Elon financial card at Lowe's. This is like it's over here. Is that right?
I don't know how yours do that.
You got something I got?
What, 13?
When did you do that?
I don't know how you.
Motion on
I don't know.
increased training.
First mine, the whole screen disappeared, then, I think this is last month's.
Well, now it is. Yeah, now it's showing the same thing.
She might have hit the vote. It might have hit the vote. Whenever his screen went out, it might have hit approve it, because we're it can do that.
Oh, okay.
So it's just
Timings.
yeah.
Okay. So it still stands.
No, let's see here.
I don't like that.
It Vicky, what it done was it pulled whenever you approved
That's what-
Randy's. It approved the one below it, but it just jumped down.
Okay.
You'll look on the motion. If you look on number 13, go down to like 14 and then go back up to 13. It shows that like
Yeah.
action's been taken, but it's the previous.
It's previous motion.
It'll do that sometimes. It's got a little. It's very sensitive.
So where did the Elon go?
It's actually number 13, but she'll have to take that motion out.
That's where mine's at, all 13.
Yeah, mine is.
Your 13 is on
Yeah.
Elon?
Yeah.
How about yours, man?
Well, somehow it pulled that down
Yeah,
there.
but I don't know.
It's just me, I guess.
Well,
So 12 is fine. 12 is fine. If you go down to 13, she'll just, if it's okay with the court for us to use the credit card at Lowe's, we just always like to come to the court before we make any purchases or anything with the credit card, and we just like approval to be able to use it at Lowe's.
I've got to ask, what are we using Lowe's for?
For parts that
usually it's stuff that Dan needs, like,
Yeah,
a lot of, what was it, some
stuff you
plumbing
can't
stuff.
get a true value. you
Yeah.
just do it
Yeah,
or
we
something.
always
buy
try
from
here.
Frederick and May,
Yeah,
or
we-
Always,
we try-
yeah.
We try locally, and we can't get them sometimes. We have
Okay,
to
so
go.
it has been tried.
Oh,
Yeah,
Yeah.
always.
Yeah, always.
As long as we try local,
Yes.
that's
Yeah,
all.
there's just
Yes.
some things they don't carry, we have to go up to Lowe's carries them.
Yeah, we always go local first and try to get there if possible. But if not, if there's
We
something
can go
that
to Oldfields and
Yeah.
we try everywhere.
I think this might have been a piece for, was it maybe a faucet or something? Was it some kind of piece that he
I
was?
don't know, but you find some strange things sometimes.
I'm not sure what it was, but it will be. We make sure to let him buy here local first.
I'll make a motion to use the Elon financial card at Lowe's.
Second.
Motion on the floor is properly second to use the Elon financial card at Lowe's. Questions, discussion? There being none, all in favor? Opposed? Motion carries. Horse park expenditures. As you know, we've had, after we got the first flood, we cleaned the concession stand out. And as soon as we got it cleaned out and everything done, another flood came in, we'd go back in there again. We had to buy another refrigerator. And in the future, as soon as when we winterize that thing, I told Dan to take the refrigerator out and bring it over here so we don't leave it over there no more. And in case we have floods, stuff like that. So that's going to be part of the winterizing process. Also, we got a sink to replace, the delivery fee and all that. And so we need this doesn't include that stainless steel stuff though, does it? It does? And also the idea was the stainless steel tables, if you open up that note on the side, should have all that in there. Rather than going back and wood in there again, because the health department last time, they won't approve reusing that wood after it's been flooded. So I thought, let's just go with stainless steel. That way we just go back in and wash it like we do the bleachers, which are aluminum. And that's fine. And I talked to the regional health department. They said that would be fine. They can accept that. We thought about using those plastic tables and stuff, but they're so low. We tried using those in one more show. That did not work. They were way too low. And this will solve us from having to go in there and rip stuff out anymore.
Is this gonna come out of the general fund?
Yes.
Always gonna request it through the post office.
We haven't done a project yet, but
We need to write the project, but I want to do it through the post office and reimburse the general fund.
you all approve that.
And if you'll go along with it. We're too near the fiscal year to even mess with that general fund. Too near the end of it.
I'll make a motion to approve $3,265 to Seaworth Incorporated to replace horse park items destroyed in the recent flooding.
Second.
All right, we have a motion on the floor. It's been properly second. Approval to expend $3,265 to Seaworth Incorporated to replace horse park items destroyed in the recent flooding. Questions, discussion? There being none, all in favor? Opposed? Motion carries. Senate Bill 63. Last month, previously we presented a resolution regarding this, but after further investigation and talks with a couple of the county judges, me and Myra was talking about it yesterday. We met over with Sandy Hook, and they're moving forward with the same thing as us. And talking to Lara, I thought a ordinance would be better than a resolution that would give us more detail on that and things where we go back and change things if needed. Whereas that resolution is just kind of open-ended there. And I think we'd be better going with an ordinance.
So does this give local law enforcement authority to pull someone over if they're?
Yeah, it gives the permitted drivers, it gives local law enforcement, state police, or chief deputy back there, if they are trail riders from out of state and they do not have the right signals on and all that, he is allowed to pull them over and find them. And they will also collect, and his office will also get $25 for every inspection they do as well.
I mean, they can always pull them over. I mean, you have the right to pull them over right now. This is the only thing this does is give certain people that make their four-wheelers and side-by-sides roadworthy the opportunity to use the roads in short sections to get around. That's the only thing it does. I mean,
and it doesn't bother the farmer, like Donnie's. It doesn't bother his farm, ATV, UTV, or whatever. You got farm stuff that don't bother that.
Okay.
They can still run down from the front porch down the local convenience store. You know what's going on there.
So now we need our fire department needs a side by side for if they have accidents back there. to get, people back in there.
Yeah, that's why, when I bought a side by side for the rescue. Remember we did that last year? And that thing is set up and rigged for going back into the woods and pulling people out. And all you have to do, if you need it, is call and he'll come to you.
I mean,
Yeah, I know.
nothing.
That's why I prepared, if you remember last year, I brought that in front of the court, and we bought that through economic development. And then they outfitted it with a skid on the back so they can go in and put people in it and carry them out. And we've already used it up in your neck of the woods, that logger that died. That's how we got him out of there. Yes, sir.
Let me ask a question for Miles.
Sure.
I read that in the paper about those four-wheelers and talking about riding them, on the road and then off-road. What about, has anybody talked to the farmers about these, not Bowling Ridge? I mean, I didn't own a big chunk of that, but I sold it. But what about accidents on it? Is the farmer liable? Do people come in here about state and so forth?
Nope.
No, I mean, they shouldn't be on your private property anyway. I mean, this doesn't give a license to anybody to trespass on your property.
But that's what you're talking about, that trail is what, 60 feet wide or something? That goes through there, all liability goes to the state on that. The state assumes it from the farmer.
Okay. I knew they used a lot now on property.
Yeah, no, all the farmers we talked to showed that, and they loved it because they already got people riding. And so this will take the liability off the farmer and it puts it on the state of Kentucky.
Well, that was my question. I've got some people riding motorcycles and four-wheelers on my property now. I'm not responsible for them if they get hurt.
And you have to be in that trail system.
Yeah, you would be now.
Well, it's part of that Bowling Ridge system.
Not if that trail, it has to be that specific trail, that trail that runs through there. If that trail's on your property, you know it. They come talk to you.
Okay, well, it's not on my property now, because 172 cut it off, but I mean, I don't think it ever come down that far.
Yeah,
But still,
if your property was involved, Miss Pack and Brandon would already be knocking on your door.
but I still think that the property owner needs some protection because.
Well, they do. That's what I said. Well, the property owners.
They don't want to be riding a tricycle.
Yeah, the property owners that's in this system do get protection, but we can't protect private property. Unless you want to assume and give it over to the state.
That whole trail system, they have their own situation going. On just this law, this is just making public property accessible to those people that satisfy the requirements. Okay, so but public property is always. I mean, if somebody wrecks on the road right beside your property, you're never, nobody's going to come looking for a check from you or anything like that. The state's providing, at least this law is about four-wheelers that could not be on the road before. Now it gives them an option if they jump through all the hoops to be on the road for small amounts of time. But it don't affect anything on private property. The trail system, I think, by Miss Pack, that is a different system and that has its own situation.
Exactly.
But I think a lot of that's going towards the 20 years ago. They made the laws where so you're riding horses on somebody's property and they're allowing you to ride horses, that you're not responsible for any accidents, and that's protecting landowners for opening up access to sportsmen and people that want to get out and enjoy it. The legislature didn't want to punish people for being generous, I guess is what I'm trying to say. And so I think that whole system is kind of under that kind of legislative intent right there. But to be honest, I don't know too much about that trail system. You can talk to Ms. Pack on that. She has all those details. But this law specifically is just it's dealing with roads that are owned by the county, state, city, and kind of stuff like that. It's just if you don't jump through the hoops, it's just like any other four-wheeler. You can't just be riding through town or anything like that. You've actually got to, go and have, somebody inspect it to make sure you got a turn signal and you've got brake lights and you've got, rear view mirrors and stuff like that.
And you said you had people on your property riding, that's trespassing, so is that not right, Chief Deputy?
Yeah, I mean, it's trespassing. There's actually a separate, there's a, when you can be on somebody's property, if they've never told you not to be on the property and there's no sign saying not to be on the property, it's not really trespassing in Kentucky. You have to be told, don't be there, and then be there. But actually, if you have a motorized vehicle and you're on somebody's property, and they haven't explicitly given you permission, then technically that's like a trespassing third degree, which is like a violation. It's not a crime. It's more of a violation that people can be fined for.
Yeah.
But I mean, you could always call the law, and we can put a stop to it if people are trespassing on you.
I can see where this is going. You good, Ronnie? Are you good? Does that answer your question?
Yeah, I'm good.
All right, sir. Okay, next up is we gotta have the first reading, right? Is that what do we do? Is that all we had to do?
Yeah.
All
I
right.
believe so.
So we had the first reading of the ordinance tonight. Next up is another ordinance, tourism. An ordinance implementing the establishment of a tourism commission and imposing a transient room tax in Morgan County. The tax will only affect people coming from visitors who are coming in and staying at hotel. We don't have any hotels out in the county, but campgrounds, we did kept shut, but we got one campground up already. And we got another purpose is thinking about opening up a 150 acre campground somewhere in the northern part of the county, I think. So we got to get in front of this, and we got a lot of other stuff coming east to us from Powell County and headed this way. So that's what this is about. This will set up a commission, a board, and along with the executive director. Has everybody had a chance to go through that and look at it? This is based off Round County and Powell County, and I just put it together. I said it over to you, Miles. Did you?
Yeah, I've taken a look at it. I've got a few notes. On 13 on enforcement, it talks about on section A, shall have water service terminated without notice until compliance. So I don't know much about the PSC as far as what their regulations on that is, but we need to make sure that we would comply with that. If that's part of enforcement in an ordinance that don't really have anything to do with water, we need to make sure that that complies with the PSC regulations.
You go back to the executive director of Round County and ask. I was kind of curious about that too, how that was fitting in there. And we got 30 days to make changes from today, so we can change that before I'll have an answer from her. You mail it out to the court. And then I think we're the only county in all the surrounding counties that doesn't have tourism.
So is this the first reading then?
This is for sure. Yeah, no. Yeah, because we're replacing it with that resolution we did last month. The other judges I've talked to said it was much better to have this, that you'll regret this using ordinance. Resolution. So, good, move on. All right. Okay, we have a citizen here tonight. Kenneth Williams wants to talk about, Prater Cemetery Road. He'd like to get that taken into the system. I've been up and looked at it. It's about 800 foot. It's 800 foot long. And it goes to a cemetery over there. How many graves are up there?
There's 3 right now.
Yeah.
With space for several, quite a bit more.
Yeah.
It's already, it's called Colburn Crater Cemetery.
Yeah.
It's already public access, but the road itself, this last rain was tore it up. It's big rust.
And the road, and it's all, there's no other properties. It's just
It's all on me.
It's all on his property, and he's willing to give an easement.
And I already
What's the
lived
name
in
of the name of this house again?
Excuse me?
What's the name of this road again?
I guess we're gonna call it Prater Cemetery Road.
Okay, thanks.
That's who's buried up there, so.
He was the first one called this.
So, yeah, this would all be, and I've talked to Mr. Williams, this would all be subject to the fact that it is all on your land, okay? And that if somebody else starts being like, I don't know about this, and we gotta stop and make sure that it's right, okay? I'm not saying that they would, I'm taking you at your word. It's just, a lot of times I find out that people live next to
from the edge of somebody's property.
Okay, I know that people live next to each other for 20 years, and then somebody moves a gate, and then everybody starts calling the guns and the sheriff's office, or getting guns and calling the sheriff's office and all that kind of stuff. So just got to, if it's yours, there's no problem on that. There just has to be voted upon by the fiscal court a public purpose for the road, and then once you vote on it, there would need to be a description of the road. Okay, so I don't know how you want to do that. So wide, starts this place, ends this place, kind of situation.
How do you do that? You don't get a surveyor.
No, it's just a description, just like a layman's description.
Okay.
Start that paved road, starts at your driveway.
Start at a road,
Driveway to
add it, yeah.
where the 20-foot culvert is, and goes to the,
Goes 800,
Top of the hill,
goes
800
800 feet to the top of the hill and into the cemetery.
there you go.
Yeah, just write that up and give it to us.
Do I need to write it up?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we don't, as a lawyer, I don't like to touch descriptions because I don't want to get that wrong.
Well,
That's, yeah.
Ken, maybe you better have your wife do it.
Yeah.
Nothing, I'm
I'll
not
do
trying
it.
to say anything, but,
Yeah, I'll tell you said that. Y'all have your office tomorrow.
all right, sounds good.
We're on.
Do we,
That work?
we have to wait till we get that description before we can vote, right?
No, I mean, you can vote on it right now. You're just voting that there's a public purpose for it and that you think it's good for Morgan County.
I got a 1 minute, 6 second video of the road. Top to bottom, if you want to see it, I got it on my phone. I got a picture of the beginning and a picture of the end.
Anybody want to see the
If
video?
anybody wants to look at that.
You want to see the video?
Oh, yeah, if you got it.
Bring it up here.
So can we take all cemeteries back in and go through this channel here?
Yeah, that's probably what's going on.
I mean, that's the situation.
That's
what
the
everybody
situation.
needs to do.
Okay, who wants to see it?
Even if it costs 3 properties, you said 3 people,
People don't want to give the easement, so.
there might be a few. I'd say you can get most of them back in that way.
You're right.
Yeah, the Potters, and they've got a baby married up there too, and they want to come up every year. And last year they couldn't get up there. I had to ferry them with their 4-wheel drive. And this year's twice as bad.
What part of the county is this in?
It's up Railroad Fork,
Okay,
Kansas City.
thank you.
Property is 171. Big staff branch. If anybody knows Matthew Prater, how about the house?
Is it gated?
No, but I can make it.
No,
It's public
You can't
access.
gate it.
You
Can't
can
gate
have
it.
public access. Now, after it, I'm gonna gate it. The property after it.
Yeah,
Right
you
now,
can't
it's
get it.
not.
See, that's the thing, once this goes
You
in, it's a
can't gate
public
it
road.
once it's,
Never gonna gate it. I let the kids in the, go up there and they go past the cemetery and they take right out on the hills. Avery got horses and they take up restaurants and everything. Not even a stick there to put a gate.
Is there any stipulations on this as far as cemetery roads?
They have to be in the county system.
Well, I know
Other
that.
than that, that's all I've ever found.
No.
5 miles.
It's what, yeah, I mean, it's what we're very careful on this. It's what we determine to be a public purpose, okay? So I know for a long time we haven't considered cemeteries to be the public purpose. We've kind of maintained the ones we had, but we haven't really added any in. This goes to what we talked about numerous times when we talk about the last house on a road, okay? If you're building a road to a house, then that is a glorified driveway, okay? It can be done like we've talked about before, okay? I don't like going to the last house because that's that driveway to that house. However, there are legal exceptions to things, such as maybe somebody's building a subdivision and there's no houses there, but we know there's going to be houses there. So we say it's good for Morgan County to build a road so we can service all these people. You can also conceivably say that for public cemeteries. You could say this serves a lot of people in the community need to get there, so it serves a purpose for the county. But that's on you. I mean, each and every one of you all have to make your own decision. Is this in the best interest of Morgan County? Does it serve the people of Morgan County? You can, or you don't have to. It's whatever you decide.
Well, that's the reason I was asking, because this is going to open up a lot of, like
big
Leroy said, above. Like I got a old cemetery up above the house that you all do not want to even think about taking into the county road system. The last person that was buried up there was in the 50s. No one's ever come to visit. But I could bring it and say, hey, I've got this cemetery. I want to bring in the county road system and hit straight up and down a hill that's solid rock that would never make a road worth driving. So what kind of stipulations can we put on to say?
Well, just because we take it into the county road system doesn't mean we have to maintain it. We take it in and then we don't have to put a gravel on it.
Marks County, they dig graves, the county does, they maintain.
Yeah, but that wouldn't be fair either, because then you can just take them all in, and then you just pick which ones you want to work on. That ain't fair either. Either you're gonna take them in and work on them all, or don't take none of them. That's the only way.
Basically, what it comes down to is every spring going up there before Memorial Day and taking care of all county roads. That would be the fair thing to do.
Yeah. And we even talked about early on, before funerals. I think it's the right thing to do.
Right now, I get calls all the time from people wanting to, they have a loved one died, they call me up with 2 days notice, and then we find out the road's not in the system and we can't do nothing. But, 2 miles down the road, there's another cemetery road that's in the system. And that confuses the public. They get really upset about it. And why does this road get, and why not ours?
Because they used to take care of all of them.
Yeah, they used to take care of all of them.
It's like that one told me, he said, what are you gonna do if you can't bury it? It's up to the county to do something with it. I mean, if you can't get up to the hill.
So are we gonna, You gonna take them all in, if people comes and wants them took in and take care of all of them or not? Cause there's several that's probably be right in line. It's 25 and 30's buried there.
I agree with you.
That cemetery above the house, there's probably 10 that's buried there. Like I said, no one has ever came to say, hey, I'd like to go up to the cemetery.
I'm all for taking them all in, but I don't wanna pick and choose either.
Well,
We
the
take them all.
ones that, like that one, I don't get a lot of calls about this. Like, they don't call about it. The most of the ones I get, the calls I get are people who are recently having a local pass on Memorial Day. And it's something we've usually been doing. The older roads, I think there's one time in the last year we went to one that was kind of odd somewhere. And we went and it turned out it was in the system, but nobody touched it in 8 years. We didn't go do anything to it until they needed it. That kind of depends upon, the users. If they're not using it, they don't call and ask for anything. If they didn't.
I've got one now that, they can't get to it because the old autumn olive trees has got the road cut over. Wonder if we can just go through and cut them with the brush cutter.
Yeah.
Avenues.
Yeah.
Middle Fork.
I had a guy call me the other day about a cemetery over to behind Doc Holbrook's big clinic.
Yeah.
Big old, he said, big old tree across the road. He said, it's not in the system. It's not in the system, we can't do it.
Quite frankly, we've got a couple of cemeteries around here we need to look at. And it's got Revolutionary War soldiers in them, and we need to be looking at those. Those are historical cemeteries. And where we got those veterans, and especially from the Revolutionary War, we need to be.
I think we'll do them all.
Yeah. Well, we could create I've been thinking about this. Every time somebody calls me, I think I wish I brought it to the court already, was create a cemetery committee, all the counties have them. And
One person from each district.
One person from each district, and let them deal with it.
What can we do legally though? Because this has been going since.
You have a policy.
Yeah.
You gotta have policy. It's just like Leroy's talking about.
Yeah, there's no policy, that's the problem.
But we can't spend county money on it. But am I right, the previous administration had a fund at one time that ran out of money?
Well,
But I mean, what can we do?
But that was for cemeteries that wasn't in the system.
It sounded like.
Well, what that was Gateway Ad
Money
money.
before.
That was Gateway Ad money. It was meant for business development. I don't know how that got taken out of Gateway Ad.
It was tornado money.
Tornado, oh, it's tornado money?
It was
Money
donated
for
money.
businesses
For business.
that was destroyed after.
But he was able to get them to swing it and get the Gateway Board to go ahead and give it to him for
Cemeteries.
not in the system.
And I'll tell you, there's a lot of people that appreciated that.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, 100%.
Oh, yeah, it was a good move.
Yes. And they want to know why we can't do it now. I mean,
As far as the mowing, I mean, the tractors are going by it anyway.
Mhm.
yeah,
They're tramming by these
and
roads.
the tractors and they grade
They're all
the
going all
roads,
the
I
way.
mean, knock them down. I mean, heck, I want to have most of them ain't gonna be a big expense. A lot of them's washed out. Unless we could rock them and all, but.
If you can find them all.
And I tell you, a lot of
That's it.
people call me when I tell them it becomes a public road, and and also anybody can be buried up there, but they stop right there in the tracks they don't want.
Yeah.
That stops a lot of people from doing it.
Yeah.
Because it has to become county road, and it has to have public access. That means anybody can go up there, and that's, if it's
Anybody
It
can
can't be.
If it's a
it
remote
can't be
location.
listed as a family cemetery.
Yep, and they want it as a family cemetery, but it's no longer a family cemetery.
Right.
It's a public cemetery.
I think that's fair enough.
Yeah, I do too. If you want it taken care of once a year, then you're gonna have to let other people be buried there.
Could cold sewage money be used as that, on that? I mean, it's county money.
That's not even.
I don't, you can't spend a dime on stuff that's not in the system. Can't spend a dime. So, I mean, if it's in the system, you can choose to do it, you can choose not to. It's whatever you want. But one thing you can't do is spend any money on stuff that's not in the system.
That's exactly what,
But if it is in the system, then you can just come right out of the general fund, right?
Well, the road fund.
Road
Yeah.
fund.
Road fund.
Okay. And, if we was to do that committee, they could raise money, donations.
Yeah.
And how?
well, I say, I mean, I'll make a motion that we go ahead and start the process of the Prater Cemetery. And if we go ahead and make a committee,
I got everything ready to go. I'll bring it to the next meeting.
and the property owners that have cemeteries, they want to come forward, let them come forward. I mean, that's only the right thing to do. If they don't, if they want to leave it private, like I was telling Donnie, our family cemetery is on a private farm that he said, I'll take care of it, and he does.
Yeah.
So,
Most people, the ones I've talked to, the short time I've been in, they don't want it made public. They'll take care of it themselves before they'll do it.
but I'll make a motion, we go ahead and start on the Prater Cemetery Road.
All right?
If cemetery road is taken in, then it becomes public.
That becomes public.
Anybody can be buried there.
Anybody can be buried there. And they're aware of that.
It's already that way. The road's not, but the cemetery is.
Yeah, I mean, some
It's
families,
already open to anybody wants.
some people have a family cemetery, and that's all they,
Yeah,
Well,
well, it's not, it's in your records, and already registered. And it's private and public cemetery. It's just the road needs there, not. And I'll have a description with him tomorrow. When he gets done, I guess it'll be day after Memorial Day.
And the next
I'll
meeting,
sign
I'll
it.
bring
It'll be a done deal.
I'll bring us a, ordinance for cemetery commission.
Okay,
Believe it or
Kurt.
not, that's actually have people ask me.
You gotta start somewhere.
Yeah. Well, let's get that started, so.
Does the
Give me something
motion
that's right.
include forming a committee? Is that what you're saying?
No, I don't, no.
No, I didn't say this.
Excuse me, I'm sorry.
Well, you second on that.
I missed something.
Leroy second. All right, so we're good.
So we have a motion on the floor, it's been properly second, to take in, Prater Cemetery Road into the county system. Any questions, discussion? All in favor? Opposed? Motion carries. Good discussion. We just getting ready to solve some of our problems with this, some policy. All right. Some airport board appointments. Jerry Mays has decided to step down from the airport, and there's another name on here.
Jeremiah.
Oh, Jeremy, I keep on Jeremiah Myers. He's the one of the. He's on. Does everybody know Jeremiah? Had he experience with him? He works up there, evac, and he's also the airport manager. He lives up there, and so they voted that they'd like him for him to be it. And I agree with it. I think he'd be a good one. He's always up there, and so need approval to appoint Jeremiah Myers to the West Liberty Morgan County Airport Board.
Make a motion to appoint Jeremiah Myers to the West Liberty Morgan County Airport Board.
I'll say.
We have a motion on the floor, it's been properly second for the approval of the appointment of Jeremiah Myers to the West Liberty Morgan County Airport Board. Discussion, questions? There being none, all in favor? Opposed? Motion carries. Ratify vendor claims.
Okay, these are the paid vendor claims that have been paid since the last meeting, which includes the vendor claims that were approved at the last meeting and standing order claims and payroll.
I'll make a motion to ratify the paid vendor claims.
second it.
We have a motion on the floor, properly second to ratify paid vendor claims. Any questions or discussion? There being none, all in favor? Opposed? Motion carries. Approve unpaid vendor claims.
Okay, on the unpaid vendor claims, we have, regular vendor claims, which is A, and then we have the SAR grant claims, and they're separate simply because we did it for ease of accounting for us. So I have put those together in the same motion. And then we have vendor claims B, which will need two motions, approval of A and the SRA grant claims, and then vendor claims B.
So we need to do 3 separate motions here.
I think you can just do two, do A and the SAR grant and then B.
Yeah, it's all, A and the SAR grant are all
Can be on one.
one motion.
I'll make a motion to approve unpaid vendor claims B.
I'll second it.
No motion on the floor, properly second to pay unpaid vendor claims B. Questions, discussion? All in favor? Opposed?
Abstain.
Motion carries. Next one will be SAR and A together.
I'll make a motion to approve A and SAR grant claims.
Second it.
We have a motion on the floor, is properly second to approve unpaid vendor claims for A and SAR grant claims. Discussion or questions? There being none, all in favor? Opposed? Motion carries. Before we adjourn, I got one more thing to bring up that came up. I want you guys to see this. We had a gentleman come in the other day to the office to Linda, and he hit a pothole on Gordon Ford Road. That must have been a heck of a pothole. Damage was, to his vehicle was $3,625. These are the pictures. Terry said Terry went out and fixed it, but he didn't get to it till after it was fixed. Miles, did you get a chance to look at that one?
No, I mean, I haven't seen the specific one. I've advised the court in the past about kind of things like this. Of course, you have the right to pay any claim that anybody might bring against, Morgan County, whether they even, they can say, hey, take care of this. They don't even have to sue us. They can say, I might sue you, and that's good enough to give you all authority to pay something off. I do caution you all, just like I cautioned years ago, by creating a precedence to pay people whose vehicles are damaged on our roads. You conceivably are creating a liability for yourself, okay? People can choose whether to pay stuff or not, but when you're the government, you can't arbitrarily and capriciously pay these people and not these people. So when you create a policy saying if it's bad enough, if the pothole's bad enough and we should have fixed it, then we'll pay it, then you're going to have to do that for everybody, okay? In the past, we haven't paid these. We've said if you're going to do something, sue us and we'll turn it over to KCO and all that kind of stuff. But it doesn't mean that you have to. So some states have they have policies for this. So they say, I think in New York, they go out and if you can prove that the pothole is so deep that they'll actually pay your claim or something, So, I mean, you know, you could do something like that, or you could take it on a case by case basis, like you're seeing this one. The only thing, as I said, I'm going to tell you that you need to treat them all the same. So if you're going to start paying people whose vehicles are damaged, you're going to have to start paying them all.
This guy was a local citizen. This guy's from somewhere else. Yeah, that was a fleet. Yeah, what kind of vehicle was that? A fleet van or some sort of business thing too?
If it's a fleet, if he's a part of a business, then I mean,
yeah, there's a lot of questions I have about this because.
Did he say where the pothole was
No,
He
did.
just said I was on Gordon Ford.
And Terry knew what he was talking about. I said he just fixed it right after it happened.
He fixed it last week.
Yeah.
If it was the pipe, there is no way that little hole that was on top of that pipe caused any damage to anything.
And then you go out there and look at it.
We got.
Do we know where it's at on Gordon Ford?
Terry does.
It has to be that pipe yard replacement. And it was right in the middle of the road. And it was probably
Maybe 4 or 5 inches deep.
maybe and about that big. It wasn't much. We still got pictures of it. Yeah. It's not, the pipe was replaced. It was, but there is no way that.
That's a lot of damage.
Was it his van or a company he works for?
It was his.
It's his van.
If it's that one, I'll put it that way. Now, if it's somewhere else, then I don't know where it is, but that's the only one. That's the only one. That's not there. Yeah, that's the only one.
That's just somebody trying to get $3,000.
Yeah. Looks like they got some.
There was
a tow bill on there too.
Who's to say that it had one?
A tow bill.
Yeah, who's to say it even happened?
No.
I mean, I hit a pothole the other day. It didn't be 10 inches deep. It didn't do nothing like that. I just bounced out of it. And they're a little behind on things, but we've had 4 events, so they're trying to catch up. And so,
Potholes are gonna happen, that's just part
of life.
That's nature.
Yeah, and the math of suing somebody when you have $3,000, you're gonna spend too much on an attorney for it to matter. So I mean, you're in that weird situation. Is the insurance company, if they fix it, they could come back if they want to and try to do something to us. We'll deal with it at the time, but
Usually insurance company, I used to do insurance.
I mean, they have to prove that it happened there.
Hit the pothole.
That's right, how can you prove that it happened there?
They must start trying to look down there all the time.
Is that the towing bill or anything?
Yeah, it's got the towing bill. Yeah. It's got all that on there. I think we're setting a bad precedent if we start this.
If I know that, I hopped the rock cart the other day, I should have hit that.
Everybody watches on TV, let's go find some potholes.
Yeah, that's. Most people dodge them.
Yeah.
Okay,
Or slow down for them.
so he had it towed all the way to Green?
Yep. Didn't even think about getting there old people in the business.
See, that's just a repair.
Did you see that? They have to hire equipment for the transmission. Does it?
I think it's on the I think it's on the
Just do it out. I never did see it.
Worldwide equipment.
I just sit there.
Was that it to Worldwide or who was it to? Blair?
We sent one to Worldwide for the transmission.
Okay, we bought the transmission.
Yeah,
Worldwide.
that goes to
Who's that guy?
Blair. Heavy equipment, mechanic.
Had he sent us an invoice already?
He left some money at the road.
Okay.
They're supposed to turn it in.
Did we get an invoice on the guy who, done the transmission, put the transmission in at the road department? I know we've got it on here to pay for the transmission, but do we have it for? Blair, have you put?
Yeah.
Yeah, found it.
Okay.
Yep, there it is. 2040.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's on there.
Maybe Holly, some kind of proof he's got. Someone go out to court for him.
Go out to Gordon Ford tomorrow, look for potholes. Do a pothole search.
I mean, the tow truck, they had to go to Gordon Ford to pick it up if it done that much damage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cause you look at those pictures, man, have you ever seen that much damage from a pothole? I've seen some, I've been rim, but I've never seen anything like that. And I've hit some pretty big potholes in the Middle East. All right, that's all we got.
We go into closed session for a personnel issue.
Sure can.
I'll make a motion to go into closed session.
All right.
Second.
Personnel issue.
All right, we have a motion on the floor, it's properly second, going into closed session, real quick. All in favor? Opposed? Motion carried. Okay, hey, Shannon, stick around. After I talk to you after. favor? Entertain a motion to adjourn.
Make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
We have a motion on the floor to adjourn. Been properly seconded. All in favor? Are you sure?